Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing? It's been a while. Sorry. I have on my side right here. I have the stream going, um, just so I have a better view of like the questions and everything that I'm gonna be reading off and just going over a bunch of cool stuff. And yeah, it's nice. I haven't done a live stream on YouTube in a long time. I think the last one was September 2021. So yeah, over a year ago. So I'm happy to be back doing a live stream here on YouTube, my original home. I've done a lot of live streams basically on Instagram from the parks and just like, in my room with friends. But I'm happy to be doing one here because I could do cool stuff like switching the screens from the start to the camera as well as a bunch of cool other things. But yeah, so we're gonna wait a few more minutes, but in the meantime, we could do a little bit of the discussion, and then we'll start going over uh, the videos of 2022. So the way this stream is going to work is we're gonna start off by looking at what I did in 2022, just like looking at it, talking about like why I made these certain videos when it came to like the narrative stuff, and then when it came to park visits, talking about my experience there briefly, like what it led up to the trip, or my overall thoughts of both the trip and the video itself. Let's see. Unfortunately, I can't burst into the room this time. Nope. Unless you're here. Are you at the door? I don't know. But yeah, so we'll be we'll be going through a lot of the 2022 stuff today, and I got a pretty cool like kind of way I'm doing that. And then at the end, we're gonna go over a bunch of cool and interesting announcements that I have. There's more than one, even though I said in the title that it would just be an announcement. There's multiple, including I put this on Instagram. This box here that is gonna be a surprise, but that will wait for later. So I'll say this is the first time I've been since it's been a while since I've been live on YouTube. I want to thank everyone. Well, thank everyone who's watching the stream along with me, taking time out of your night, I guess, to listen to me talk about random crap. But I don't mind. No, I'm kidding. I'm very appreciative of you guys coming along, listening, and I hope you enjoy like all the announcements at the end. Um, we also recently, I'll just, ooh, I'll talk about this now. At the right before the new year, we hit 500 subscribers on YouTube. So thank you so much. I know, I was talking about that on Instagram, how close we were, and we were able to reach that number before the new year. And looking at it now, we're already at I think let me double check. 516, which is amazing. I think part of that is definitely due to that YouTube short that I posted, and shorts make the algorithm go crazy. So that was just a little bit of a test. I'm definitely gonna be doing more of those throughout 2023 and beyond. Sorry. I have a bunch of water here. I have a whole water bottle here as well as another one. So I'll definitely be going through them during the stream for sure. All right. I'm in the walls. I thought I heard something last night. uh, yeah, so we got a few other interesting tidbits to talk about today. Actually, while I'm here, I do actually have the member cup here too. Uh, Not drinking out of this though. This will be safe for 2020. It is 2023. I don't know why I just said that. It'll be safe for when the parks open back up. So yeah, we're in the midst of the off season. The off season, not the best in terms of riding roller coasters, um, but it lets you create a lot of interesting content. Like I can experiment a little, and you'll see later on that I have a lot of big plans. So I think it was on Instagram. Sorry about that. I think it was on Instagram that I said around December. I think it was around December, like mid December. I said a month from now, big things are going to be happening, and today is finally the day I could talk about these. I know, like, a lot of these things I've been wanting to talk about a lot, and I know like people have been wanting that I know have been wanting to announce things, and I've told them like just don't say anything. I want to do my own thing, and thankfully I'm able to do it now. Hold on, let me just check something. All right, we're still good. Actually, I'll switch over here. So yeah, I guess other things just going on in my life right now. I'm watching a lot of movies. I'm trying to catch up on like the 2022 movies I missed. If you guys don't know, other than roller coasters and obviously studying engineering, movie watching is like my other big hobby. So I've been catching up on a lot of stuff. The other day I saw a movie called The Whale that's getting a lot of buzz. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, which is actually pretty good, and I'm a like one of the biggest Pinocchio fans there is when it comes to the original Disney one. And then, oh yeah, so last night I saw the original Avatar. I've actually never seen it before, so I finally got the chance to see it, and I'm planning to see Way of Water, in the coming days, I think. So been doing that as well as yeah, just some other things. I'm actually repping a Busch Gardens Williamsburg shirt right now because the temperature has been so weird. Like yesterday it was really freaking warm. I think it was like record temperatures in New Jersey, and then today it's like back to the winter stuff. So I guess that's how January is. It's super weird, and it's the off season. So I think with that being said, we can finally start going through the 2022 stuff. So let me quickly go over to my YouTube channel. Hold on. Let me just double check. Oop. Ah, there we are. Let me just make sure. I'm pretty sure it's there. Yep. Let me just make sure it's going all right. Yep, it looks good to me. So yeah, this is the this is the cool layout I have set up for this live stream where I'm gonna be up in this corner over here while we're gonna be going through all these videos. And we post a lot. We post a lot of videos in 2022. So it'll be fun going through them. If you saw my freaking long 2 hour year in review, then a lot of these moments were featured in that video. So yeah, but I'll be talking about some of the moments that I found fun, and then at the end we'll go into the announcements. But starting, so we could start off this video here. I'm gonna skip, even though it was technically after 2021. It was mainly it was about Holiday in the Park in 2021 and not 2022. Okay, the first real video of 2022 was the repaint video. And this was a really fun one to make. Obviously, it did get a lot of views, which I was really surprised about. I mean, I did not expect as many people to be interested in the topic of paint, but I was surprised how that went. The reason why I want to make this video, and I say it in the video itself, this was actually an idea I had back in, I want to say November of 2021. And I was talking with Michael, aka Blue Diamond Coasters, who's actually here in the chat. We were just discussing the absurd amount of roller coaster repainting projects that were being done, and I just want to. My goal was to try and document them. That was the first thing, and then make a video about it. And I think it was fun to do. Also, that was the first video where I kind of did like a funny introduction, and I kept that up later on in the Thanksgiving video. So yeah, I think in the recap, I did a few moments in there. Obviously, the beginning and end scenes, as well as me like ripping on the Jolly Rancher Remix repaint, which I forget if at the time it was even named Jolly Rancher Remix. But anyway, I was just ripping apart the color scheme. I'm still not a big fan of it, but I did warm up to it this year, and I I actually I didn't film it, but I did get to ride Jolly Rancher Remix with friends, and it was fun. So yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say about the repaint video. So what I'm gonna do is after each video I talk about, I'm gonna look at the comments to get any reactions from you guys when it came to these videos. You're just saying hello and a cough. All right, so we're gonna be skipping these two video. Or actually, we're gonna be skipping most of these. So obviously, I'll just breeze through them actually. So we hit 5 years of East Coaster Fan back in February of 2021, where I was able to make a video kind of talking about the history of the channel and some of the biggest moments of the channel. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, you could check that video out. And then later on, we made a video called, or right after that, called 5 Years of East Coast Fan Looking Forward. In there, I showed off the East Coast Fan 2022 intro, which you guys are probably sick of by now. But yeah, that was kind of like an updated intro from what I had pretty much for the majority of my channel's life. Then I released a new channel trailer, which I was pretty happy with how that turned out. Is, I don't know, it reminded me of like those old school Coaster Studios trailers. Excuse me. Then over here, we have our first trailer for The Brief History of the Golden Kingdom, where I said that was going to come out shortly, and it still hasn't come out. And we'll talk, as I said in the chat earlier, we're going to talk more about that later. So that's pretty much the extent of which I'm going to talk about those videos. But if you have any questions or like feedback from those videos, I'd be happy to hear. Otherwise, I don't see anything. So otherwise, I'm going to talk about this video. So this is our 2022 April Fool's video during our Busch Gardens trip, which I'll talk about over here. Right, does my cursor show? I'm not sure, actually. I don't think it actually shows, which is interesting. OBS has some weird things going on. But anyway, we're talking about Coaster Morons Ride Grover's Alpine Express. So this is actually a very last-minute video idea from when we were doing the Busch Gardens trip. I knew I wanted to do something April Fool's at Busch Gardens since we were there. And I just want to make it around Grover. Then the idea came about, I forget when, it was probably before the trip started, that I want to make a sort of parody or a short form parody of El Toro Ryan's videos. And I was pretty happy with how this turned out. I know a part of this video that you guys really liked, or I know at least Michael really liked. Oh, it does show. All right. So, I know there are a few parts in here that I really liked. I like the Scott Pilgrim when he says wow, and then the like that old school meme pops up, and then the ending where you have the Gangster's Paradise is pretty funny, and I made sure to easily put that in the year in review video. So even though the reason, by the way, I have Jack Black in that thumbnail, I'm gonna move my cursor so you guys can see it. The reason I put Jack Black in that thumbnail is just only because that's the thing from Sesame Street, and that's like the biggest meme. Me and Michael, we always make the joke of like reciting that, so it was just a funny little thing. And I will say, normally I'll make the pictures of my thumbnails nowadays a picture that I took in the park, but the Grover picture back there was intentionally a picture from the website. So if it looks a little more high def, that's the reason why. All right. Actually, it doesn't show, but when your cursor goes over a video, the preview starts. Okay, that's good to know. Oh, and yes, the Gangster's Paradise Choir ending still makes me laugh. I'm happy to hear that. So let's talk about Busch Gardens. this is an idea that we had. Oh God, when did we think of this? It was probably towards the beginning of the sorry, just doing something. Beginning of our winter session, not winter, spring semester, back in like February. Um, and the main thing that really drove us to do this visit was Pantheon, as well as just having spring break. It was at a good time we saw, where obviously we looked at the calendar and saw that Busch Gardens was open daily for that entire week. It had like a 3 week stretch of spring break. So we definitely made the most of that in this trip, where the first video, which is here, this is our first vlog of 2022 of us riding Pantheon for the first time, and it was a blast. First of all, I love this picture that we used in the thumbnail of Pantheon on its spike. And then I also we had a blast this day. So obviously riding Pantheon for the first time was great. It was easily my favorite credit of 2022. Then they also had the St. Patrick's Day festival going on, or celebration it's called. And there was like a ton of cool entertainment. Obviously Celtic Fire I had to watch on that St. Patrick's Day festival, which if you guys didn't know is my all-time favorite amusement park show, Celtic Fire. Yeah, they had like those other things. There's that like weird like in Canada they had like a Irish rock band. In the fest house they had someone singing "You Raise Me Up." I'm not sure if that's the name of the actual song, but that's the like the meme part, I guess. So yeah, that was a really fun day. We'll talk about travel antics in a sec, but in between the actually the when we got to our hotel room during this night. Oh, it's actually showing this funny part of the video that I did include, where Michael's like, oh yeah, so I have 3 knots, 300 feet, knots giga confirmed, and then goes to the Eric Andre "We'll be right back," which I thought was pretty funny while I was editing. So, like I was saying before, in that night, so the night of 3/27/22, that was the night of the Oscars. So literally after our day at Busch Gardens, we watched the Oscars, and we watched Will Smith slap the crap out of Chris Rock. So that was that day. So it's very easy for me to remember it. And I include that bit in Travel Antics, but it was a pretty interesting day for both me as a coaster enthusiast and the meme community. So then our second day at Busch, this was easily the deadest park day of the year. There was nobody here. So we parked in the France parking lot. So if you know Busch Gardens, they have the parking lots set up for different countries. And we'll go over the other parking lot we went to later, but France is basically the preferred parking where they have handicapped and everything. They parked us there at the beginning of the day. Went straight to Pantheon, thinking it would be busy, and it was no wait at all. And we just we were like just fooling around this day, doing a bunch of stuff. This was the day we filmed that April Fool's video. What else? Oh yeah, so like we ate at this weird France restaurant called Les Frites. I've been wanting to go there for a while. I was a little bit disappointed in with that place. In fact, a lot of the food in general. But that's okay. I mean, there weren't that many people, and I don't really care too much about it. But we like easily got on everything this day. We went up in Lands of the Dragons, which I haven't done in a while, even though I visited a lot. Got that really cool shot of Loch Ness Monster. And basically called it a day. We had a very long drive back, so we got everything done we wanted to. So we just called it a day and went home. So that's gonna lead us, I guess, now into travel antics, where this was an interesting idea. This was an experiment for the channel. So my idea was this is kind of like my version of what the travel vlogs that Theme Park Worldwide does. He'll make a video where he shows the process of him going throughout the trip. So he did this when he came to America and did that like big trip across the U.S. He made like a bunch of travel vlogs, and that was kind of what I wanted to do with this series, Travel Antics. So that was what I was going for there. A lot of funny things happened in this video. So we went randomly to the mall and ate at Popeyes. We Later that day we went to Texas Roadhouse where they dropped a glass right near us, and that was pretty funny. Then a lot of it is just like the driving footage. I talked to you about the Oscar moment, and then we drove back home, and some other interesting things happened. But the biggest thing is what's in the thumbnail is we tried this at the local McDonald's that was right next to Busch Gardens Williamsburg. They had something called the Pantheon meal, which was really funny. It was, oh god, I can't remember what the meal actually was. It was a lot of food though. So I guess the other thing to notice, um, between the the three vlogs we talked about and then going up to the Hershey Park one, I was experimenting with like the thumbnail styles. So actually, if I go back, obviously videos before had a kind of basic style, whereas the white box and red text, and that was because it matched my old logo. Obviously, I want to keep the red text because it was still in the logo, but I was trying a bunch of stuff out at this point, and I still try a bunch of stuff out once in a while. So, excuse me. So we have here, right in the corner, sorry, park visit. Oh my god, park visit, and then the date like flat. Then we had park trip instead of visit, and the date was still there. Travel Antics had a different font, but it was still red. And then we had park trip again for that Hershey Park video, the same as before. Park visit, but this time tilted, and that was, I think, the version I went with for most of the year. So that's like a very small thing. I know most people aren't really gonna be talking about that, uh, but it's something that I definitely noticed and was thinking about throughout the year. All right, so before I move to Hershey Park, let me just read the comments here. All right. Yes, the Gangster's Paradise Choir endings. Okay, I read that one already. Octagon, of course. Gotta mention the Octagon. All right. I saw Will Smith slap Chris Rock, dozed off, then woke up to see Will Smith win the Oscar. I remember that. That was funny. Yeah, I didn't fall asleep during the Oscars, thankfully. But it was funny that that was a really interesting Oscar. And the second I think the reason you woke up for that is I was laughing so hard when Will Smith won after the slap. And then he did this really long speech. I'm not going to go into it now, but yeah, that was just a very funny moment. It's weird that we've been to Busch Gardens Williamsburg during a dead day and a near capacity day. Yeah, we'll talk about that second one later. Look, my hand in my mom's car is in the thumbnail. Yeah, right here for Travel Antics. Oh, Hans. All right. Next. I also still have that Pantheon meal box in my bedroom at home. I didn't even know you kept that. God. I actually got... I forget if we were there for Halloween, if they were still offering that Pantheon meal. I mean, it would have been too late anyway, but it's still funny. Alright, so moving on. We'll talk about Hershey Park, the unexpected backup plan. So, the reason it was titled that is that trip was supposed to be a UD bus trip to Six Flags Great Adventure that got canceled the day before. So us coaster enthusiasts wouldn't let that stand, and we decided to go to Hershey Park instead. It was a pretty busy day. I will say it wasn't one of my favorites of the year. Like there was a funny moment I put in the year in review where they had a second train come on the track that was empty. So I was like, oh boy, we're gonna be loaded on this one right away, and then it leaves empty. I cut to like this text thing, but it was a cool video. I think Storm Runner was open. I want to say it was. I don't know. I'll be honest. Again, this was one of the more forgettable days of. Oh yeah, this was actually I forgot. This was the day you got slapped in the arm. Yeah, I think it was this day. I could be wrong. Let me just. Yeah, that was the. So, as a recap, if you didn't watch this video, uh, Michael got off this ride, and I look at him. He's like, "Ow!" And then he shows me on his arm. There's like a line. So that was some. That was like, I was laughing so hard when that happened, and I'm sure it was very painful for you, Michael. But I had a blast when that happened, and it was definitely one of the funnier moments. All right, so let me quickly look. Uh, oh, hey Dom, nice seeing you here. Sean Real. Yeah, I guess maybe it's because I don't have the beard anymore. I don't look like don't look like Yukon Cornelius. Ah, well, yeah, the bruise is still there. So, as I say in that video, let this be a lesson. Don't stick your arm out on Stormrunner because Hershey's, I guess, gardening team sucks. All right. Now, we can finally talk about what was my favorite day or favorite park visit of 2022. If you saw my Instagram series, you know I ranked all the days. This day was my number one, the very foggy coaster power hours. So this day was important on a lot of levels. It was my first trip to Great Adventure for the year. It was my first ever power hours, which I've been wanting to go to forever. And then obviously that crazy amount of fog that just made for the most insane rides at Great Adventure I've ever been on. Unfortunately, Kingda Ka was closed, which is such a shame because that would have been probably my easily the best Kingda Ka rides in my life. But we did Nitro that day, and like every single drop was into the fog. You couldn't see the ride. I got some amazing pictures from this day. I know I posted some around Halloween. I obviously that El Toro picture. Um, and speaking of El Toro, this is actually the my first time riding El Toro since Fright Fest of 2020 because I didn't ride it at all in 2021. I went a few times, but the first trip of 2021 where I met Michael for the first time, it was testing, but it never opened. Then I went with friends and we didn't ride it either, and then it broke. So I didn't ride. Ooh, Jesus Christ! I didn't ride El Toro at all that year. So Power Hours was the first time doing it, and I got 22 rides that day. You know when your voice does that, you need some water. Um, but also during that day, we met up with a bunch of enthusiasts. So we met up with. That was the day I actually met David, who's Stormrunner Sam. Also Coaster Paradise. I think, yeah, that's Coaster Paradise. I met him. Casey, who you might know as Block Break, she got her 2000th ride. Ryan Freund, who goes by Mr. Toro, he was there, and I think that was the day he got the most Toro rides in for his year. And then, while not in my vlog, I know it was briefly in Michael's. After the park closed, and granted, this was late at night. A bunch of us, basically the people I listed, all went to Wawa and basically had a late night hangout just in celebration of Casey hitting 2000. And this was really great. I got to talk with all these coaster enthusiasts, and it was just like an Ace event, really, being here. So, yeah, this day was an absolute blast, and it was easily my favorite day of 2022. Regarding Great Adventure, it's very high up there as when it comes to my favorite visits ever. I had a blast. All right, let's look at the comments. Oh, for Hershey Park, that was also the day we went to Chocolatier. That's right. So that was my second time being there. Michael's first, and that was fun. That was a fun thing to do. I remember. I don't think this was in the vlog. I could be wrong. We basically left the park, made a reservation at Chocolatier, and went back in. They said it would be like 90 minutes. So we went back in, saw that Candymonium had a listed, I want to say, 60-minute wait, which for that day was actually reasonable, so we waited in it. While we were in line for Candymonium, about like 20 minutes in, we get a text alert from Michael's phone saying, your table's ready." So we were debating about whether or not we'd leave the line. Ultimately, we stayed in the line. The wait was actually more like 45, which isn't too bad. And then we like ran over to Chocolatier and ended off our day there. So yeah, that was. Thanks for bringing that up. I almost forgot about that. Uh, Dom said, Coast Malone, you mean? I think Coast Malone is dead without the beard. And that Wawa tailgate was awesome. I agree. That I hope to do another one. maybe East Coaster fan meetup at Wawa tailgate. How about that? All right, let's move on. We have our first visit to Adventureland for 2022. And it was an important one. First ride on Fireball. So I got to try out the new for 2022 coaster during this visit. And this was actually a few days after opening. Right? I think. Yeah. A few days after opening. So this was really fun. I got to try out the ride. I think it was... Oh, God. I want to say 4 times. I could be wrong with that, though. As well as just go around and check out a bunch of other things. And obviously, I know I get a lot of attention when it comes to the Adventureland content, and I was really happy with this number here when it came. Oh, jeez, I did not mean to click on that. Whoops. Let me go back. All right, there we are. So, going back to the adventure, Fireball was actually really fun. It's definitely an underrated ride, but I think I like it more than most people. Some may go off of that. Some may get off of Fireball and say, that's it? I see it, though, as a really fun ride. I think it was very successful for Adventureland, and they were very happy with it. I was really happy with it. I think it was a big improvement, as well as getting Coaster number 3 in the park, which they haven't had since the early 2000s. It was a ton of fun going there. Oh, almost forgot this important bit. So during the tailgate at Power Hours, Costa Paradise, he showed me this app called Lightroom, and the thumbnail picture of El Toro there in the fog was my very first picture that I edited in Lightroom. So basically, every thumbnail from now on uses Lightroom. I use Lightroom whenever I'm posting pictures to Instagram. It's my go-to, and I gotta thank him for showing me that because the quality really went up this year when it came to photos. I think that was well, we had the we had the talking tree there in its new spot, but this was pretty much a normal. Well, it was a bit busy. It was a bit busy at Adventureland because it was around It was actually on Memorial Day. First time doing that in a while. And yeah, it's just mainly showing updates for that park. Excuse me. Alright. I'm going through my trip reports. The day of that Adventureland visit was the day I went to Lakemont and drove to Sandusky. Yeah, you could check out that video on his channel. Alright. So, then we have our travel plans video. So, this is very fun. Leading up to this video, I was doing a big teaser campaign on Instagram. And obviously this was leading up to this visit up here, to California's Great America. So, again, I've said this in the past, but I'll say it again. These travel plan videos are basically I love doing them. It's a personal favorite of mine. Even though it doesn't get the biggest view count, which I don't really care about that. I just love making these things. And then if you've caught on, every single travel plans for like the last 3 years has sort of related to the previous Jim Reed Anderson videos they do for like new for whatever year that is. So going in, my thought for the travel plans 2022 was to do the motorcycle one. Kind of like, because in that video it's about him traveling on a motorcycle cross country. Then I don't know where this idea came from, just randomly hit to do the space one and make it themed to Independence Day, because I was going, because in my mind I was like, oh, California's great America. You have America, and America's Independence Day. Independence Day is the movie, and it's like, I don't know how I connected the dots, but it was super quick. The second I thought of that, it was like a few days before this video even posted. I basically went to this local park that is right by me. That's why there's like this yellow stripe. That's a baseball field. I had my I basically had my phone mounted up and I filmed that bit as well as just do a stupid stupid thing with space and connecting it. When I was rewatching that for the year in review, I forgot I used Undertale music in there, and it was very dumb, but I liked it. I thought it came out fine, and I was happy to surprise you guys with that trip announcement to California. So yeah, I won't talk about the California trip itself just yet. I will talk about it later though. Excuse me. Okay, let's go through. Or let's go through the comments. Someone should really make a video about those Jim Reed Anderson videos. I'm still mad I never thought of CGA because I think you'd never go there. I didn't think I'd ever go there for a long time. I thought it would be years until I get to California's Great America. But when the opportunity came, I jumped on it. And I think I mentioned, or I'm not sure if I mentioned this on the channel, that the choice was actually between CGA or Discovery Kingdom. And this was before the news of California's Great America closing. My mentality was, I don't think my family would want to go to a Six Flags park. So that was the reason I chose California's Great America. We bought our tickets, then the announcement came that it was going to be closing. And that just honestly made both the travel plans as well as the whole teasing even better. Remember I was going to meet you for the first time at Adventureland? Lol. Yeah. That's actually this video over here. The Long Island Coaster Fest, which we'll talk about. Alright. So Travel Plans 2022 was actually my 99th video on the channel. So my original thought, going back a little, because I knew there was a little bit of delay when it came to school, my original thought was to make Brief History of the Golden Kingdom my 100th video. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. However, I got something possibly even better out of it. So yeah, so I was working a lot and with my internship at the time, so I could only work so much on the Brief History video. Then the idea hit. Well, actually, I'll say this: there was like a month delay in June or July. I forget when exactly. Actually, it was July. There's like a month in the summer where I just did not make a single video, and I really wanted to, but in my mind I was like, oh, I want Brief History to be 100. When I saw it was delaying, I was doing more park visits. I'm like, I gotta get these videos out. So that led to this, the East Coaster Fan Out of Context compilation. A freaking dumb idea that I loved. So yeah, this took a bunch of like random clips from over the years. Basically, every video before the Out of Context was featured in it, and had a very small part, including the cringy moments of my past. They were in this video, and I was very happy with how it came out. I did not try to make it exactly 10 minutes. That's pretty interesting right there. I did not try to make it exactly 10 minutes, but it was a blast to edit, and I'm really happy how it came out. Easily, in my opinion at least, it's one of the most rewatchable videos of the year. Because I tend to put out these videos and like don't go back. I mean, occasionally I will, but stuff like obviously the Hershey Park trip, I don't watch that on a regular basis. But occasionally, if I want a good laugh, I'll watch this Out of Context. I freaking love, by the way, that the preview is of my friend Dylan doing the "there's no Wi-Fi in here" bit. All right. And if you were wondering, this thumbnail was actually this thumbnail picture that was from Cedar Point. You could probably tell just by looking. Oh, jeez. With Millennium Force in the background, but then you have the camel there, and I thought that was a random picture. I want a random picture for that thumbnail, so that's why I decided to do that. All right, let's look at the comments. All right, that out of context video is still one of my favorite videos. Agree. I'll still rewatch it. Yeah, it was a super fun video to make, and actually, I'll play this bit right now. It starts off with this like weird, always sunny moment.
Jack, what do you?
Among Us. Okay, I'll go back now. Yeah, so that was really fun. Oh, geez, I went down. Okay, so after the 100th video special, I could finally start uploading like on time in quotes because some of these videos I want to get these out literally as soon as possible, especially when we're approaching Ace events when I really want to do that. And then I was mixing that in with the old stuff. So, like going back, I kind of wish I didn't have that month-long delay, but you live, you learn, I guess. So, going on, the video that should have been me and Dom's first interaction, Long Island Coaster Fest. I was so hyped for this day, just due to the fact that the last Ace event at Adventureland was back in 2001, and they've been trying to do one here since I joined Ace in 2017. They've been wanting to do it, and it's been canceled, and I was just so happy it finally happened. Now, with that being said, though, listen, I love Adventureland. I love Ace. I thought this Ace event was just okay. I mean, they did have that very small ERT session in the morning, but it was barely even ERT. It was like one ride. Well, it was one ride on Fireball, then we went to Turbulence. One ride on Turbulence, one ride on Mystery Mansion, and then you had the day to yourself. So, not the most exciting of Ace events, unfortunately. Which kind of makes me question what they're going to do for the Preservation Conference. I really want them to do something bigger than what was during Long Island Coaster Fest. But we gotta just wait and see until... We just gotta wait and see what happens with the Preservation Conference. That I may go to next year. We'll have to see. Let's keep going. No comments. I will say too, Michael Blue Diamond Coasters was supposed to be at both Long Island Coaster Fest and Coney Island Fest up here, but unfortunately he got sick, which is a shame because I really want to show him around Adventureland. That will happen in the future, but it didn't happen unfortunately in 2022. Yeah, so here we have Becoming the Great Adventure Tour Guide. This is a pretty fun video where I went to Great Adventure early in June, which is a great time to go. This is even a weekday in June. So I will say Great Adventure wasn't that crowded this year at all, even on like the weekends. But still I'll sometimes want to go in early June just because it's really fun. This day in particular was actually the same day that my brother was going on a field trip to Six Flags Great Adventure. So I kind of crashed his visit, you guess you could say. Funny enough, though, I only saw him once during the entire day, and it wasn't on camera. He was with his friends, so I didn't bother him, but it was pretty fun. And so during that day, I met up with a guy named Ryan and a guy named Alexander. Ryan is a coaster enthusiast from Colorado. His home park is Illich Gardens, and I actually caught him first. He was hanging out with Alexander before I joined them. Alexander is a enthusiast all the way in Germany, which is really cool. He's the first international enthusiast that I've really gotten to know within the community. And at least with Alexander, we still sometimes talk on Instagram, which is really cool. We had a fun time this visit. I showed them around, gave them a bunch of tips. And what's funny, I'll click on this video to show you. So during my... Okay, I don't know what this is. During my year in review, I was really trying to like find out
The
his
path
last
to
name,
improving student achievement.
find out his last name or like social media, and I couldn't find it. So I knew when I was doing the Instagram series, I definitely wanted to put him in there. So literally the same day that I did his highlight, he leaves a comment on the video. So I remember I told him the name of the channel, but I didn't really expect anything else from there. But he apparently found it and then left this really nice message. So that was really cool that happened, and I did not expect that. And maybe one day I'll make it to Colorado. Although ooh, Illich Gardens isn't exactly on the top of my bucket list. Let's see, what else happened that day? Um, yeah, it was mainly showing them around. I think I don't know. That was pretty much the most of what I remember that day. It was pretty much a basic Great Adventure Day. All right. Before I move on to Coney Island Fest, because I have a lot to talk about with that, let me read the comments. All right. Still trying to figure out if I will do the press conference. Me too. Okay. Maybe this summer I'll make it out to Long Island. We'll just have to see. All right. Is Alex Jersey Devil Joe? Oh, Alexander. No, not the same guy. Not the same guy at all. One is Alex, the other is Alexander. That's the first thing. There's Alex, and Alexander. Two Alexes I know, and then an Alexander. Confusing? Yes. All right, let's move on to Coney Island Fest. You guys don't understand how long I've been wanting to go to this Ace event. It's been years ever since I joined Ace. But every time I've been wanting to go to this event, um, I always had a plan in the way, or I was on vacation. So I finally got to it this year, and this was so much fun. It was my first time at Coney Island in like 4 years, maybe five. So and I was able to get credit completion, including on Phoenix, which is in that picture. I love this picture, by the way. Unfortunately, that park visit text kind of blocks it, which I'll go more into that later. But yeah, it was fun. We got to do a lot of stuff at Dino's, stuff that I've never done, including Spookorama, Matterhorn, which is really fun. Uh, First time ever doing the Wonder Wheel in like observation mode. And then when it came to Luna Park, unfortunately Tony Express wasn't open, but I did get to ride my first ever slingshot, as well as getting back on Cyclone, which I forgot how much fun that ride is. It was a blast. And then of course this day, while I didn't show him on camera, that was the day I met. Yeah, he's saying it in the chat. That was the day I met Dom, aka Coaster Guy 95. Coney Island, real me. Look, Gary, there I am. Look, Gary, there I am. Uh, so this is a super fun day at the park. I absolutely loved it here. It did rain a little bit during the middle of the day, but I didn't let that discourage me, and it was a blast. Okay, before I talk about Thrillathon, uh, actually, I'll wait to talk about this later. Let's go into Thrillathon, this behemoth of a video. So, Thrillathon is always the video that I try and experiment the most when it comes to vlogging styles. In fact, going way back in the channel's history, um, hold on a sec. Riding of the Bull 2019 was the first ever like vlog, first kind of like updated vlog style that I ever did on the channel. I went to the Riding of the Bull the year before, where I just kind of did park footage, but this is the first one where I kind of was talking throughout. I didn't show my face because I didn't do that until this video, but basically Riding of the Bull I always try and do something a little bit different. So, or like kind of experiment a little or whatever, I guess you could say. So obviously Riding of the Bull 2019, very important video. 2020 they obviously didn't have it. Then we had Thrillathon 2021, where it was building off of that, where I started, I think this was, let me double check. I could be wrong. If I am, I guess, yeah, I don't know. I could be wrong, but I think Throwathon 2021 was the first video I started putting memes in. So we'll leave that as it is. So then we get to Throwathon 2022. So this was the video I decided. Oh, there I am. Uh, looking like Terminator. This is the first video I decided to ever do chapters. So you can see those here. And then I was really playing around with the length here. So I filmed basically the entirety of the raffles, both the midday as well as the evening raffle. And like I just got so much footage this day. I went wild shooting stuff and then just put it all in. So that was really what I was trying to see with Thrillthon. I mean, I'm still really happy how this came out. If I did have to change it, oh wait, there's Dom and there's Alex. Nice. If I did have to change this, I definitely cut down the raffle stuff. That is something. At least when I rewatch this video, I'll normally skip through it. I did put the highlighted raffle stuff in the year in review. That's probably what I do at the most, or like maybe a few other things. I don't know. If you guys have any suggestions for how I should handle raffles during future Ace events or future Thrillathons, let me know because I'm curious how you guys want to do that. But going into this video itself for this day, this is an amazing day. This was my second favorite of the year. It was the first official vlog that Coaster Guy 95 was in. As well as this is actually the first vlog that Alex appeared in, even though the first time I met him was actually during Summer Vibes. A ton of enthusiasts. Collywood was there. Ryan or Mr. Toro was there. I could name so many. Sammy from Built to Thrill. It was super fun. I spent the morning basically at Nitro the entire time, and I got my first ever Zen ride in the front row. Then we had our lunch with the Looney Tunes. There was a really funny interaction I had with Daffy and Sylvester. We had our tour, which again was originally supposed to be of El Toro, but then got switched to it got switched over to Houdini's Great Escape because El Toro broke. And that Houdini backstage tour was actually really freaking cool. So I'm happy we did that. And then back in the Medusa field. It was really hot this day. So unfortunately the fire effect wasn't working. Otherwise I would have definitely gotten a recreation of this shot here that I used in Riding of the Bull 2019. I love that shot so much. Yeah, so because El Toro broke, the evening ERT, I will say wasn't the most exciting. It was Runaway Mine Train, Medusa, and the Log Flume. So we did one ride on the Log Flume and Runaway Mine Train. Log Flume, it was cool doing it at night, but I did get pretty wet, and I was soggy driving home. And then Medusa, again, you can only do so many rides on Medusa before you're like, okay, that's enough. It doesn't really have the re-rideable factor of like El Toro or Nitro, in my opinion. But that was Throwathon, and of course we had I'll end it off with this, the raffle winners, of course. We had Dom winning his really cool and old patch of the Great Adventure Hot Air Balloon. And then Michael obviously winning that huge freaking sign from the entrance of the American flag. So that was Throwathon. It was a really fun day, a really long day, and one of my favorites of the year. So I'm sure there are a lot of comments about Throwathon, so let me check. Alright, let's see. I've been to Colorado twice, but for non-park trips. Went past both a witch and Lakeside. Ooh, that's unfortunate. Alexa? I don't know what. Did I say that? That would have...
I haven't heard anything in the last minute, but you can listen to all your requests in the privacy section of the Alexa.
Should have figured that would happen. Okay. Alright, how many Alexes do we got here? There are a ton that I know. Maybe more next year. We'll have to see if I meet any Alexes. I wasn't sure if that would trigger it or not. All right. Let's see. Oh, I guess I missed those too when we were covering Coney Island. Whoops. All right, and then talk about Thrillathon. That day was so hot, like 96 out. First vlog I ever made too. Yeah, that was the first vlog you ever made on your channel, and then that was, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that was the first time you also showed your face too. Remember we all thought Toro was gonna run because of Mr. Toro. I think I remember that. It was like, oh, the power of Ryan's here, so maybe El Toro could open. There was also that rumor going around of like, oh, we might be able to get it open for you guys. Didn't happen. All right. Oh, still one more. Still can't believe I won that sign. Yeah, that was insane. And I'm impressed we even fit it in the car. Funny story. This didn't happen. So during the vlog, we brought out the sign to the car, and I jokingly said that, oh, I'm surprised the security is not like busting us right now because we're like taking a piece of the park outside and loading it into our car. That apparently happened though to the Collywood crew, which is very funny. Or was it Sammy? It was one of those guys, I think. The security is like, "What are you doing with park property?" And I guess they had to tell them that, like, "Oh, we won it from an Ace event." All right. Am I? Oh, let me see. Oh, the heat was about Coney Island. Yeah, that day was hot too, especially at the beginning. Actually, I have it over here. We got this cool freaking bottle that I still haven't used. The paper's still inside, but I'm not sure how good you can see this, but it says Luna Park there. Has the spritz bottle on top. May use this in the future. I only have a few props around, so I'm not going to pull out everything from this year, but I just saw that in the distance, so I figured why not pull that out. But yeah, Coney Island was freaking hot, so was Thrillathon. It was also really freaking hot inside that building. Like, I think, yeah, the maintenance shed of Medusa. It was so hot. So, let's move on. Okay, really quick, read the comments. And my vlog from that day is still not done. Yes. Hopefully it's your next video though. Yeah, it got unread tagged. Lol. And that was the day all coaster enthusiasts cried. All right, moving on. Let's keep going. The St. Anthony's Family Feast and Festival. So, a little background on this event. I've gone to this here once or twice in my life. I forget. And I figured, why not make a video from here? It's kind of amusement park related. So I went here with a long-time friend of mine. His name is Matt. That just shows the cheeseburger. Yeah, longtime friend of me, Matt. And we hung out all this day. There were a lot of weird things that happened this day. A lot of cool things too. Like I got my first ever Gravitron. There's a really weird ride called Extreme. They had it was either a Larson drop tower or it was like a very close to one. That was definitely the best ride. And a few other things. They had like a band there that randomly started playing Phantom of the Opera at some point. And then there was this burger here that tasted like Wendy's. There's a circus performance. It's a super weird but funny video that, I'll be honest, I have rewatched it a few times since I've gone. But let me know if you guys want more stuff from possibly carnivals, because there's definitely other carnivals on Long Island that I could go to, including this one. I may do it again next year. And yeah, I mean, there's also the Delaware State Fair, but I don't think I'm going to be in Delaware like at that time. Or I might be, you never know. Okay. Not related to the school I totally don't attend, correct? I don't think so. Oh. Yeah, I don't think. I'm not sure actually. I don't know where you go. I don't even know where you live. Okay. Well, I know obviously the area, but whatever. Let's move on. CocoCon and Dark Knights. CocoCon's been an Ace event that I've been wanting to go to for a long time as well. and we finally had the opportunity to do it this year. And also during this event was our first experience at Dark Knights. So this video is interesting. So yeah, you can see right here, very funny preview. I'm happy it chose this. We start off the day with a marathon on the Hershey's Chocolate World ride, where we did, I think, 4 rides. Oh yeah, 4 rides, because there was that funny moment in David's video. Someone should make a GIF of that. That's very funny. Uh, yeah, we just went crazy on this ride. Had a lot of fun. Obviously, Michael's there, David's there, and then sitting next to me was one of the Alexes, not the one from Summer Vibes or Haunt or like Thrillathon. This is an Alex I've known for years now, dating all the way back to Two for Connecticut. So we've talked. We go to the same college now, and we finally were able to go to a park together. This being CocoCon. So it's funny. The first two events I went to him with were both Ace events. So after we did our chocolate World Marathon, we had a chocolatier. This was my third time where we got the appetizer meal. That was really cool. So then we go into Hershey Park, and it's very crowded, unfortunately. So if you saw the vlog, there were definitely some moments that at some points it legitimately pissed me off. But thankfully, once it got to the Dark Knight stuff and we were starting to like hang out with a bunch of enthusiasts, we were having a good time. And I am pretty fond of the video, despite the day we had. I know, and it was really busy though. So I think it was because they had CocoCon. Well, one is a Saturday. It was also a concert night. It was just a mixture of a bunch of different things, as well as just bad planning on our part. Like, we decided to do an informal takeover on Comet that like basically wasted our morning and a lot of the day. So that was a shame. I would go back to CocoCon though. Oh, and of course I gotta mention probably the one of the highlights, the ERT on Great Bear at night, and we were all wearing these like glow in the dark necklaces that they let us on the ride for. David sent us all who wrote it this really cool on ride photo, and that was really cool to see. But yeah, that was CocoCon. I could tell. Obviously, I think a lot of the other Ace events, except maybe Long Island Coaster Fest, because that was barely an Ace event. CocoCon was okay. I was happy I went. I'd go back though. All right. Oh, actually, I'll talk about Dark Knights too. So we did 2 houses that night. We did, let's see. Yeah, we did The Descent. That was our first house. And then we did Twisted Darkness. Those were really good. And I showcased those later in my other video. Not so much Twisted Darkness, unfortunately, but The Descent. Alright. Let's look at the comments. We should, I'm assuming that's due. We should do a video at the Dell State Fair or Funland Rehoboth Beach. Yeah, maybe someday. Maybe Funland. That would be an interesting one. All right. So, oh yeah, there's a few more. The preview. Yes, this preview is freaking hilarious. That's funny. Okay. And I'm just doing the emo Peter dance. Oh yeah, you are. And I have no clue. Oh, I don't know what David's doing. He started off by doing whatever that dance move is. I forget what it's called. That's very funny though. Okay, let's move on to another popular video this year, and that is my other Adventure Island video. Simply titled, "The One Where I Bring Friends to My Home Park." This was easily the longest Adventureland vlog I've ever done, and also probably the longest Adventureland visit I've ever done. I was here from about 1 o'clock all the way to like, I want to say 8:30. It was a long day, especially considering Adventureland. So here, obviously, you could see in the thumbnail, I was with my friends, Riley, Noah, and Morgan. I also saw a magic show that was really cool. Got some more rides on Fireball, which is now, yeah, it was now done at that point with all the effects. I also got the other seat facing the park, which is definitely the better option. It was a fun day. It's been a while since I've been to Adventureland at night, so I was really happy to be back doing that. Um, yeah, I think that was pretty much that's pretty much everything I had to say with this video. It was definitely cool hanging out with friends, and I'm happy they were okay with them filming them nonstop. So actually, I'll talk about this now, since you guys see my friends there. The other visit I did with my friends, I did not film. This was in August during a weekend where um we did a weekend trip to Hershey Park in August. I had full intentions to make a video, but unfortunately my voice got hoarse, which meant it was basically impossible for me to make a video. And Michael, who was also there, can vouch for me. My voice was freaking dead. I like I've never been more hoarse in my life. I couldn't talk for the life of me, and I had no idea what it was due to because the day before I was completely fine. So yeah, that was definitely a weird visit to Hershey Park. It was another busy one. It definitely would not rank the highest, but it was cool going with friends. Have a lot of funny videos or like other things from that day that maybe someday you guys will be able to see. Also, yeah, we did Hershey Park a Friday night and then Saturday. The Friday night though, so I guess I'll tell this. Actually, I'll save it. But I will say that during that visit, the Friday night was the same day as an Imagine Dragons concert. So we obviously getting there later. We parked all the way by the Giant Center, walked in, basically did Skyrush, left, then went to the Iron Brewery on Chalkwood Avenue, where there was this amazing sunset shot that if I didn't post on Instagram, I definitely will have soon because it is amazing. It's similar to Blue Diamond Coaster's freaking picture, profile picture, but it's with Skyrush and Candy in the background. It's amazing. And then in the background though, I recorded a video of this that I may post, we'll see. Is you could hear the Imagine Dragons concert playing in the background, which is so cool. They were playing that song Enemy. Really good song, by the way. Alright. Let's see. He looks like he's doing the Zemo dance from Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Maybe, hold on. Maybe that first move. Alright. Summer Vibes Festival. A very fun day at the park. I did not anticipate to have this much fun at the event, where they had that like really cool room with the all the things inside the showcase theater, including that like room with a bunch of old Six Flags Great Adventure stuff, including Mr. Six. Had to put him in the video. There's this like awning here with a bunch of fans. This is the day I've met who goes by Alex Studios for the first time. Also met his dad, which is cool. This is a nice day at Great Adventure. It was also very hot, but I showcased all the shows. The sticky paint, I think it was called, was my favorite of them. Let's see, what else was that day? Did I do? Oh yeah, so this visit was my last ride on El Toro for the year. I did that with Alex. And then at night I did chopstick, or not night, but like for dinner I did chopsticks for the first time in a while. I've pretty much. Oh, the rain ride on Sky Screamer was really freaking cool. Definitely my favorite mode of Sky Screamer that I've done. Yeah, and that was basically it for summer vibes. I know there was a lot of cool stuff from this day, and definitely one of my favorite days of the year. All right, nothing from summer vibes, so I'll move. Oh, never mind. There's one just popped up. My summer vibes day was very hot and also involved 9 rides on Medusa in a row. So yeah, actually I will talk about that. So he's referring to the Medusa Media Day. I really wanted to go, but unfortunately I had work, so I couldn't make it. But otherwise, I definitely would have gone to that. It looked really cool. But so instead, though, I went. This was actually the first day of it, which is pretty neat. one of the interesting things, the wacky inflatable arm wailing tube men. In my video, it was like they had them basically on this like green tarp or whatever, and you could go like right up to it and hug it if you wanted to. I did see in later videos though that they put up like gates surrounding it, and it was like a line of them. So I guess they got like a rare interaction with them if you want to think about it that way. Okay, let's talk about the next trip. This is our Halloween Virginia trip. So the origin of this, let's see. I honestly don't remember. Maybe Michael would have a better memory than me, but we randomly decided to hit up both Busch Gardens again for Hollow Scream, as well as King's Dominion. So I think it actually the first discussion started when during the spring break trip I was debating whether we could hit Funland of Fredericksburg, which is the next video I'll talk about. But yeah, so we couldn't do it during spring break, but I kept talking about Funland as like the place that I want to go to. So I don't know. At some point during the summer, I guess me and Michael started talking about a possible trip to Busch Gardens for Halloween, which is something I've been wanting to do forever since like 2009. And then King's Dominion, obviously they have Tumbili, which is a big drive to get there again, and I-305, one of my all-time favorite coasters, as well as King's Dominion Haunt. So we'll talk about all those videos, and yeah, we'll talk about all those videos, starting with Funland of Fredericksburg. This is a very short video, but it's doing quite well. It's at 120, and basically the whole point of this video is to just record Twist and Shout, which is the only roller coaster they have, as well as just show the place a little bit. Unfortunately, Clint Novak wasn't there, which we're debating whether or not he'd be there, but he wasn't there. That's okay. Twist and Shout, my first SPF Visa. Interesting ride. Spun a little more than I thought we would, but I didn't think it would be a terrible, or I didn't think it was that bad. I know some people are like, "Oh, SPF Visa is the worst." Yeah, I'll take a roller coaster over nothing. So, yeah, really quick, not much to talk about there. It's actually Funland to Fredericksburg is actually in this really cool area. There's like so many shops and like not entertainment options, but things to do there. So, yeah, definitely a nice place. Highly recommend if you want a +1 credit count. Oh, that's right. Yes, the trip was planned around a football game. Can't forget that. So yeah, I was planning on going to the UD versus not Wilmington, William and Mary football game. Yes, so we saw that on the schedule and we're like, hey, let's make a amusement park trip out of this. Also, can't forget my brother actually came on this trip with me. He wasn't really featured in the videos prominently, but yeah, he was just there. It was nice hanging out with him, and he was really interested in going back to Busch, which we'll talk about that visit in a while because it's pretty interesting. Not in the best way, but let me quickly read this one comment and then we'll talk about it. All right. My favorite moment from the Funland visit was me getting first place on the Fast and Furious arcade. I don't know, because during that video I just kind of walked away, so I kind of missed that part. I missed the part where that was my problem. Nah. Okay. Let's talk about our Busch Gardens day. So we went from the football game. We left around. We left actually halfway through. Thank God we did. If we would have left later, that would have been hell. But we got to Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. Like driving there from whatever road it is, just like the normal road. Driving in, this was actually my first time driving there which is something I've always wanted to do, but it was also during spring break. It was Michael who was driving. So it was a really cool experience just to say like, oh, I finally drove to Busch Gardens. When we were driving there, we saw some cars in Scotland. I think that's the name of it. Which, if you don't know, is the Overflow. I put a picture on it on my story at the time, I think. Oh wait, maybe it's just something I showed my parents. So we get there. Let's see. Do I have it over here? Yeah, I do. Awesome. So, oh wait, maybe it's multiple things. Yeah, this is it. Whoops. Yeah, so if you ever have the very, very fun opportunity to be parking in Scotland, you get this really cool sheet of paper. You probably can't see it, so I'll read it off. We are currently parking the we are currently parking the Scotland and Bavaria parking lots across the street. Please follow the directions below to ensure you get to the correct parking area. It's like this weird map. You gotta like follow the roads. There were like police officers like barricading, making sure like cars could go across. And then when we entered the park, taking the tram in because we basically had to, we crossed like the main road on a tram, which is super weird and funny. I definitely I put that part in your review, but obviously it was a very busy day. We only went on 3 rides from like 6 to closing. We did Griffin, which is very nice to go on. I was very happy with that. Waited about, it was like an hour or 90 minutes. I forget. It was very busy. We got in line when it was light out and got a night ride on Griffin, which is pretty cool. We did Verbolten, which is 45 minutes. I do remember that because it was listed to be longer, and we got through that pretty quick. And then we wanted to end the night on Pantheon, and it just kept breaking down. We decided to stick it out, but within that, me and my brother just barely missed a ride on Apollo. Michael was able to get it in, but we just missed it. And in total, that Pantheon wait was over. It was 2 hours. Insane. I guess that kind of made up for us like walking on a bunch of times in March, but still, my brother was there. He was visiting. He got to do Pantheon, which I'm happy about, but him missing Apollo, a little upsetting. The event itself, though, Holoscream, was really cool. You can see this picture here. That was in Germany. They had like cool projections on the walls. There were some really good scare zones. There was one. It was actually right when you entered Germany. It scared the crap out of Michael. There was like this werewolf by night looking creature. I think I called it in the vlog. It just peered out, and he either did or nearly fell to the floor. It was very funny. Also, in the year in review, I showcased the probably my favorite scare zone, even though it wasn't necessarily scary. It's just really cool. Everyone dressed as like the statues. But a really cool event. I do wish we had a less busy day. I think it was due to well, we went on a Saturday. It was also Columbus Day weekend, so I think that led to the crowds. It was a pretty nice day, but it did get really cold at night, and then we didn't like the lines were so bad this day that we didn't even have dinner in the park. Even like the pretzel kitchen, which probably would have been our go-to anyway, on such a busy day. Line out the door, there were freaking cattle pens outside. So yeah, that was insane. So we left the park, waited a really long time for the tram going back, and then in the vlog I showed this like craziness of cars leaving the overflow. It's also randomly cold for some reason, like colder than usual, and I don't know why. So driving to the hotel, we got like a very late night, yeah, late night like Wawa. It was like 1 a.m. and we just had, at least me and my brother, we just had chips and went to bed in the hotel. So yeah, that was Busch Gardens Hollow Scream. I'm happy I was able to go with my first time. Um, I wish we had a better visit, but I would go back to it just to really try the event, try the haunted houses because we didn't get to. Just explore a little bit more. Definitely like get there earlier, and we probably get a lot more done. It was kind of like a quick thing we did. All right. Let's see. I'm pretty sure that's the only time I ever used an overflow parking lot. Now, is that just for Busch Gardens, or is that like ever like any park you've gone to? I think for me, this is an interesting story. Let me take a drink first though because my throat is dying. The first time I went to Fright Fest was with my friends, I think in 2016. They parked us in Hurricane Harbor, so we had to walk all the way across. That's probably easily the busiest Great Adventure Day I've ever done. Um, I know that was when I parked in Overflow. I'm trying to think of any other times though. Uh, hmm. I'm not sure. I think that's the only time I can think of that happening. I mean, unless you consider like at least for me, the Hershey Park visit parking by a giant center to be overflow. I don't know. All right, let me continue. Oh, at any part. I did not read that part of the. I did not read that part of your answer. Yeah. So, and then that werewolf jump scare made me fall down the wall. That was honestly that was probably one of the best scares of all the Halloween events we went to, and we went to a lot this year. So that's saying something. Okay, King's Dominion. So after a kind of crappy day at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, went to King's Dominion Haunt as well as King's Dominion in general. We we got there at opening, so we definitely learned our lesson from Busch Gardens. Went straight to Tumbili. Tumbili is actually a pretty good ride. I like it more than Joker. Um, then obviously had to do I Threw a Five again, which is still incredible. I love it. Did it in the front row. Didn't black out. Did gray out though. Uh, and just explored the park. Real highlight though was getting back on Twisted Timbers. I forgot how great of a ride that was. It was something like you ride and like I don't know. I just forgot like how strong the airtime pops were. You were flying on that ride. Definitely moved up in my rankings. Then we haunt started. We actually got to experience the haunted houses at King's Dominion. Not all of them. We only did two. So one on the Bayou and what was it? Trick or Treat. That was the other one. They were good. Really happy we did them. But the highlight, at least with this event, was actually what's on the thumbnail right now, and that's the not that Cleaver Brothers Carnival. This like clown themed scare zone that had some good scares, including like a really good shopping cart one. There was also I think it was Pumpkin Eater. I think it was called. That had a slider that scared the hell out of me. Also a fog machine, which was pretty funny. But we left a little early just because I didn't want to be driving too late. But overall, I would consider that King's Dominion Day though to be a success. It we got a lot done that day and I was pretty happy. So, um let's see. So this visit I decided to do something interesting. And I did this once before very early on in the history of the channel where I posted a clip of the fire scene from Illumination's Reflections of Earth and thought why don't I do that again but with the singing mushrooms because I include the whole clip in my vlog for King's Dominion. But I love that clip so much that I just want it to be its own video so I could just keep rewatching it. So I decided to make it its own video, and that's what this is, the Singing Mushroom Show at King's Dominion. And yeah, I'm very happy. I'm happy a lot of you guys love the Singing Mushroom video just as much as I do. And with that, I was very happy with it and thought I should post more shows to the account. And that was really a light bulb moment of the year that I definitely saw. You definitely saw the rest of the year, and I'll definitely continue into 2023. Next park visit is definitely one of my favorites. It was easily the best Hershey Park visit of the year, and that was the Return of the Dark Knights. This is the it was the Friday. Was it? It was like it was on a Friday night. We decided to go, and the park was not busy at all. It definitely made up for that really bad or like that really busy CocoCon visit. We were able to get all the houses done, including video walkthrough, which I found out we could do once I did God, what's it called? Creature Chaos. Unfortunately I didn't do it for Twisted Darkness, but there are others out there that you could definitely watch. But also during this day we got let into Treatsville, which is pretty funny. We got candy there. What is it? Yeah, so got to explore all the scare zones. The highlight was definitely the haunted coal mine, where yeah, that house was just so well done. Probably my favorite house of the entire year that I did. What else did we do? Oh, We had the 100th ride on Skyrush for Michael, as well as another thing, but I'm not going to talk about that yet in case he wants to talk about it on his channel at some point. But yeah, that was very funny. Yeah, it was a really fun day. Had a great time there. Got a lot done. My favorite visit to Hershey Park in 2022. All right, before I talk about Dorney, let me quickly look at the comments. So this is relating to King's Dominion. Monkey. Yeah, the monkey coaster. Okay. Uh, Dorney Park. So let me explain to you how this came about. So we saw that our school does the bus trips, like I said before, and again, last time they did one, it got canceled the day before, which sucked. So we saw this year that one of the trips was going to be to Dorney Park for Halloween Haunt. The Saturday before Halloween, which is actually the final day of Haunt. I didn't know that at the time. So I was going in really just like, oh, I haven't been to Dorney in so long, which is true. I haven't. I was able to get back on like Steel Force Hydra. The last trip I actually did to Dorney, Talon wasn't even open, so that was great getting back on there. And I love Talon; it was amazing. Went with Alex. Went with Alex, who was at CocoCon, and then the other Alex was also there. So, and that I found out the day of. So, yeah, Alex Studios did not expect to see him, or as some people call him, Jersey Double Joe. Whatever. But the first half of that video was, or visit, I should say, was exploring all the coasters of Dorney Park. And then the second half was Haunt. And Haunt surprised me big time. I was not anticipating to like it so much. Granted, we did have, or yeah, me and Alex did have the fast lane. He used it for coaster rides, and I used it for the houses. So I could get all the houses done in the one night. But I was like really impressed with the Haunt event, and I think they did a really good job. I like, yeah, it blew all the other ones out of the water. Definitely something I'm really trying to get back to in 2023. Mark my word, I really want to go back. All right. Uh oh yeah. Obviously, part of what made that event amazing is the show I saw called Illuminightmares. So I was planning at the time to just film bits of the show, but I ended up filming the whole thing and put it on YouTube. And again, this video has more views than the vlog, which is interesting. I don't blame them because this show is freaking great and I definitely rewatch it as well. But that was such a good show watching that again. All right. Before I move on to Thanksgiving, all right, you could talk about the pads if you want. Okay, I'll talk about the pads. So, if you didn't know, I go to college for mechanical engineering. So does Michael. He did a design project that involved designing pads for Skyrush. So it was almost like, not like a football pad, but like something you put on your thighs. It was meant to prevent thigh crushing. So he's like, oh, we're going to try it. So we're both trying to plan to get him to actually ride with it. And I was like, oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if those ride offs are really going to let you do it. I'm not sure. So but we were willing to give it a try. So he tries it. The ride ops are super supportive. They're like, whoa, what are those? Not the meme. Not the meme. What are those things? He explained them, and they were completely fine with them riding with the pads. It was super funny to watch. I was so surprised he was able to accomplish that. So I'm not sure if he wants to talk about that on a video of his own channel or whatever, but that was very funny. Okay. We're getting there, and then I can start announcing stuff, including what's in the spooky box. It's not really that spooky, but it's exciting. Alright. Coaster Enthusiast Thanksgiving. This is a video idea I've had for over a year, and I was finally able to get it done this year, where I knew I want to make a Thanksgiving related video, and it started off by a video of just me saying what I'm thankful for as a coaster enthusiast. Then I kind of evolved it more into the thankful meter, which is a really weird addition when I think about it now. And then I did my first ever participation in a video. This is the idea for it came from the like the public thoughts videos that Collywood does, but I changed it, and also Rye Guy does them too. Did them too. So honestly, my video, the way it was done, is a little bit more in the style of Rye Guy, where I basically sent out at the beginning of November, like, hey, if you guys want to be in the video, let me know. And then I basically told them, okay, I want you to say something you're thankful for, and then do the same thing but make it funny. And the funny part is really the highlight for me. So there were some great clips we got. Obviously, Michael's like, he filmed his right as Bob Iger came back. So that was made for a funny bit. And then this account, Zooter Loopers, did a very funny bit. Is like, oh, I'm thankful for Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket. No one's thankful for Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket. That ride sucks. That was very funny. But also, it was like the first. I did obviously the paint video at the beginning of the year, and then this one in November. So I was happy to have at least another narration style video for the year. Definitely want to do more in 2023. We'll talk about that in a sec. So I think that's all I'm going to talk about with the Thanksgiving video. Not much to really talk about there. Alright, let's look at the comments. Alright, and they worked. I got recognized by the professor of the course. That's right. She probably also said, what are those? Okay. And hello from Mason Dustin. Hello to you too. Welcome to this live stream. Alright. Before I talk about California's Great American Vlog, there is a change in thumbnail design that I want to talk about. So, my kind of like test or like thumbnail method of 2022, I just did not like it starting like in summer. And I knew that was something I was going to change for the year. So you could see, like, obviously I briefly mentioned it when talking about Coney Island, like, the text freaking blocks out that great picture of Phoenix. Then going here, you could barely see the word visit because of that. And also you have hollow screen in like white text. So that wasn't working for me. I mean, sometimes it worked, like Funland's logo. Funland's logo works fine. But like look at the Summer Vibes Fest. You could barely read out Six Flags, stuff like that. Adventureland's logo pretty much works regardless, so I'm not too worried about that. But some of the things you just can't see. So the California's Great America Vlog is where I really changed my thumbnail style, and I think I really like this. This is probably the method I'm going to go for 2023, where all you just need is the word vlog. You don't need park visit. You don't need the date. Same thing for the titles, like Hershey Park 10/21/21, The Return to Dark Nights. I don't even think you probably don't. You could get rid of the date because obviously the date is, you can understand the date when you click on the video. You can probably just have this part, let's say The Return to Dark Nights, be the main title followed by the park. I think that's what I did for this one. Having a holly jolly time at Holiday in the Park, Six Flags Great Adventure. I'm really happy with that title and scheme and everything, and that's probably what I'm going for. Then, I'm going to try and add another image. So, obviously you have the park, and then for this I just decided to add Snoopy because why not? I'd probably just think of Snoopy because of the Thanksgiving video. And then here in Holiday in the Park, I added Holiday in the Park along with Great Adventure. Also found this really interesting program. It's called GIMP, G-I-M-P. As well as a website that can remove backgrounds. So if you guys want, I can make a video about that showing like how I make videos, but that's a lot to talk about. So I'm basically just gonna say right now that that tool GIMP, when it came to the California's Great America logo, it put the white around it in a way that I really like and something that stands out. Also, like the carousel there is a great picture for it. So I was really happy with it. Okay. So, first time at California's Great America. This was easily my most anticipated visit of the year, just because of that it's closing. I didn't think I'd get here for years, so I was super pumped. It was also the only amusement park trip that was done in California when I was there. But listen, I was still happy to get one in, so I didn't really care. So yeah, we had a great time here. We didn't stay the entire day, so but I was still able to get done all the credits, which I'm very happy with. Except the kids coaster, I didn't do that. But regardless, Gold Striker, great wooden coaster. Railblazer, easily the best single ride I've done beating at Jersey Devil. Although Jersey Devil did run very good this year during Summer Vibes and later on during Thrillathon. And then Flight Deck, which I wasn't sure was going to open at the time, but thankfully it did. And it's a solid B&M invert. Like, I put it above the Batmans, but I'm not a fan of them. I'm not the biggest fan of them to begin with, so it's a charming park. I would say right now, unfortunately, I would probably put it at the bottom of my Cedar Fair list, but that's probably just due to I've gone to a lot of great Cedar Fair parks. Like the only other one would be Dorney, and then maybe I don't know. Like the rest of them are really freaking good, unless I go to like a really crappy one like Valley Fair or Michigan's Adventure. But I still really liked my trip to California's Great America. I think my family did too. There are a lot of things here that I didn't anticipate doing. Like I did my first ever Intamin second gen drop tower here. I didn't know they had a sky ride until a few days before I visited. Um, what else? Observation tower is really cool. There's a eventually I'm gonna post either a reel or a short of just the views you get from that. They're freaking cool. The double decker carousel we did. I had to do it on the top level, of course. I think that was it. Let me just double check in the comments. If there's any other things you want me to talk about California's Great America, feel free to leave them in the comments below. But let me read the comments. I think I'm going to take a break from coasters for a minute. I'm 13, so I'm just going to have a good time with friends, but I don't know yet. It's a thought still. Yeah, I mean, you could definitely mix. I mean, when it comes to parks, you could definitely mix visits with enthusiasts and friends. I do it even. So I mix my visits with friends from home. You just have a nice casual day. You hang out with them. You do what they want to do. Tag along. Obviously, you go to you as an enthusiast. You go to parks a lot more often than they do. So that's what I typically do when I'm going with friends. And then the enthusiast days are when you go one after the other, like riding relentlessly. Um, but yeah, it's good to have that balance. Same with social life. I mean, you gotta hang out with normal friends every once in a while to keep your brain sane. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, still no response from California's Great America, so I'm just gonna move on. All right, but keeping with California, we'll skip the show for a bit until I talk about Holiday in the Park. But we'll go to Travel Antics. So I'll be honest. Um, I know I wanted to do a Travel Antics for California just because that was a really big trip and I knew we were doing a lot. But I don't know, I just wasn't feeling the same buzz for Travel Antics that I had after the first one. And it had nothing to do with the views at all. It was just, I don't know, it felt more like a generic vlog channel than a roller coaster enthusiast account. So I tried changing the Travel Antics formula here that was a lot more music based and a lot more like travel esque, I guess you could say. There were a lot of funny moments in this though, so obviously, oh, I've shown in and out. That was very funny. There were some funny moments in here, like our reactions going down the crooked street, as well as driving out of Muir Woods. I also showcased us eating dinner at City Walk in Hollywood, as well as ice cream at Downtown Disney, without actually going to the parks. I went straight up to the entrance, waved, and then left. So that was very funny. Also showcased some off-ride footage from what's it called? West Coaster with the new trains. So that was pretty cool. Obviously the picture of Golden Gate Bridge, as well as skateboarding. That was a big highlight of mine. But again, I was so when it came to the travel antics video, even for this California trip. So I don't know. Unless it's like a really freaking stacked thing that I know could be funny, you're it's probably not likely that I'm gonna do any more travel antics videos. I don't know. Unless you guys really want them to continue, I'll do them. But I don't know. I'd rather just stick with some of the other series are that I'm doing right now. So, all right. With that being said, let's talk about Holiday in the Park. So, this is my last visit of 2022. A really fun visit and one of my longer vlogs, clocking in at almost an hour, which I was pretty surprised about. Got a lot of footage from here and had an amazing day. We got on a lot of coasters, saw some shows, ate some good food, including the holiday platter and that cinnamon roll. Then we also had our games card from Thrillathon that we used, and we had a bunch of fun. I played that like milk jug game, and there were some fun moments there. Also, again, you could see with the thumbnail like Great Adventure, it's a lot more clear, so I like that. The thumbnail actually is a picture me and Michael took with the Looney Tunes characters, which is pretty cool. I think that's pretty much it. Obviously, I filmed both shows, Holiday Magic Celebration of the Season, as well as Frost, and posted them as their own separate videos. And then, let's see, anything else? I think that's it when it came to Holiday in the Park. So, let's see. Mason said, "You'll probably see me if you go to Six Flags Great Adventure next season. I'm trying to get a job there, but I don't know." Hey, if you get a job there, do let me know because I'll definitely say hi, especially when I'm visiting. I'll announce those. Usually, I'll announce park visits on Instagram. So if you ever notice that I'm going to a park or ever notice that I'm at a park, let me know and I'll say hi if you're working. So, and then finally ended off the year with the East Coaster Fan 2022 year in review, which most of these are basically Popeyes. Most of these are obviously the things I talked about during this live stream, but I do want to focus on this one portion, this like intro thing I did, which I actually really like. I'm only gonna play it a little bit. Keep my hands on myself. So yeah, it starts out with this like cool opening. Alright, I think that's enough for that. If it goes back. Yeah, so, and then the rest of this like super long video is just basically clips compiled from all the videos I posted in 2022, including some of the sillier ones. I will say, I know my main intent of the 2022 year in review was pretty much doing the same thing as 2021. I somehow doubled the length, nearly. But I will say I might change my approach for the year in review in 2023, just because I think this is a really long video to sit through. Unless you guys like it, otherwise, then I'll keep doing these like super long recaps. But I don't know, this is a freaking long sit through. So that's everything when it comes to the videos. So let me quickly answer this or respond to this comment. You played 2 games and didn't win anything. I basically did nothing and won 2 prizes. That's true. So what I'm gonna do right now oops, did not mean to do that. Hopefully it just switched. Yeah, it did. Okay. I'm going to be taking a quick break. And then when we come back, or when I come back, I'm going to finally go through these announcements. So this should be like a 5-minute break, but in that meantime you can do other stuff. I just got to go to the bathroom pretty much. But when I come back, I'll finally be able to talk about the things you've been wanting to know. So I'll see you guys in about 5-10 minutes per se. All right.
Hyundai Tucson versus Honda CR. Hyundai Tucson wins every time.
Alright, guys, I'm back. Let me just switch the camera back to me. Awesome. I'm back from my break. I hope you guys are as well. So, that was a lot to talk about for 2022. And now we can finally start talking about the fun stuff in 2023. So, let's start off. I have a few announcements today, a few things to show off. Let me check everything's going all right. Yep, doing good. All right. So, let's see. I have 6 things to show you today. Some of them are smaller than others, and some are very freaking big, like the very big announcement I was teasing in the title. So, let's start off with the first thing, and that is what the next video is going to be on the channel. So obviously, we start off the year with the live stream here. Let me just check something. Yeah, we start off the year with the live stream. And thought I'd tell you guys what the next video is going to be on the channel. So, I'll just say right now, though, it's not going to be Brief History of Golden Kingdom. I know some of you were thinking that earlier. It's not going to be that. Instead, let's see. It is going to be the return of a series that I actually haven't touched in a while, though. It is going to be... Oops. It's going to be the RIP series. So yeah, if you guys don't know what this series is all about, basically I go over a ride attraction thingamajig that is closing. So kind of the history of this series a bit. I started off talking about Ladybug and Crocodile Run when those first closed, in quotes, because at the time I thought they were closing, but in the end they just changed into Rattlesnake and Rescue Boats. Then I made another one for Balloon Tower here, and that was similar. And then finally, RIP Battle for Mutiny Bay, just kidding. So yeah, that was just talk about that closing, and then what I do is I talk about it closing, and then like my opinions on what could replace it. So I'm not gonna tell you guys quite yet what ride I'm doing. I'm doing a ride. I'll tell you that much for now. But if you've been following the news, if you've been following Coaster News recently, you'll probably know what it is. And I plan to release that video on January 8th. So look forward to that one. That'll be a fun one to watch. And I will say I'm gonna try to change up the style a little bit more, make it different than what these videos are. Make it new, make it a little bit funnier too. I have some jokes planned for it. And the script is pretty much all ready to go. I'm planning to record it tomorrow. So that'll be a lot of fun. So, let me switch back. So, let me quickly check what everyone's saying while I get my other thing up. Let's see. Hopefully no one heard that. Maybe it didn't catch on my microphone. Alright, let's see what people are saying. Alright, oh, I may or may not know exactly what one of those announcements will be. It's almost like we both have a similar announcement. Maybe. I just want to know what's in the box. Oh, you mean this box? That will come later. If it's what I think it is, the ride will not be missed. Cough, mock. Cough. We'll just have to wait and see. So, let's do the next announcement. This one will be quick. and this does actually involve the series that I know so many of you guys want to know more about, and that is Brief History of the Golden Kingdom. I have resumed working on it, so, and I'm planning to work on it a lot within this month. So, especially next week, I'll definitely be working on a lot. It's after I'm done with uh, the RIP video, I'm planning to go back into a lot into Brief History of the Golden Kingdom. So, there you go, guys. That's your answer for Golden Kingdom. Trust me, I know the delay has been terrible for this video, and it's something I'm really trying to focus on for um this either this month, next month, sometime within winter. Hopefully, getting it out there into the world so you guys can see it. Also, within the last update, I know I mentioned a possible series relating to theme park media, and that I'll be honest, I can't say anything about right now. Um, I'll know when I'm closer to releasing that video, or let me say this. I'll let you know more about it once I'm closer to releasing it. But it is still something on my mind and something I do want to make someday. So yeah, there's that. Yay, the Golden Kingdom video is real. Yeah, I didn't cancel it, guys. So, with that being said, I'd like to show you a new video right now. And it's a short one. It's my new freaking intro. So, yeah, this is the next thing I'm going to show you guys. It's so when I created my new intro last year in 2022, I always anticipated for the clips to be changed because obviously, like in that intro, the first shot is freaking Bizarro, and it's not even Bizarro anymore. So, yeah, my plan always, and I'll switch it over right now. Uh, my plan was to update it with the clips or off-ride shots, some of my favorites that I got from this past year. All right. Let me just make sure. Yeah, okay, it's all good. So, update with clips I got this year, as well as giving a little bit of a better feel. So, you'll see some minor tweaks here and there to it, but from now on in 2023, this is going to be the start, or this is going to be featured towards the beginning of each video. So, actually, let me just, before I play it, let me just double check my, yeah, this is muted. There we go. All right, here we go. The brand new East Coaster fan intro. It's very similar to the old one. I think that's yeah. Wait, sorry. I pressed the wrong thing. There we go. I have a bunch of hotkeys, so that's why I'm not sure. I should have wrote something down, but anyway, here we go. Yeah, so there it is. I'll play it one more time. I know my cursor got in the way there. So, and of course, I'll post this intro too, so you guys can see it in all of its glory. But again, here, I'll play it one more time. So yeah, that's the brand new intro. So again, a lot of the shots are the same. The only one that I've kept is that final turbulence shot because I just love it. It's great. It's kind of what the logo is. And there's a little bit of that fade in with now the logo as well as the YouTube and Instagram. In fact, if I'll bring it up here. I kind of did a similar change. I kind of did a similar change on the banner. So you guys might have noticed that I've been updating a bit of stuff on the YouTube page itself. So I updated this banner here with, I still kept it Skyrush, but it's this other picture that I got and quite like. Although it's a little bit dirty up here, but I can get past that. You have the East Coast of Fran logo that's pretty high, as well as both the YouTube and Instagram logos here. And what's great about this is it'll be able to, you'll be able to view everything easily on whatever device you have it. It's great for that. I was debating, by the way, of putting a possible Mr. Six on the side here to the left of the logos, but I decided not to because obviously some people weren't going to be able to see it. But still, I thought it'd be funny. Also, what I was doing actually the other day is I redid all the playlists here, so they were a mess before. So yeah, it's much better. It's organized much better now. I still got a few tweaking left in it, and then it'll be all good. But if you guys ever want to go to a series, you can easily access it from there. All right. So the next thing I'm gonna play. Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up. All right. So, here we go. Now I can finally. So then something else I'm going to be trying this year. This is a bit of an experiment, but we'll see how it goes. If I don't like it, I'll get rid of it. But my idea now is to have an end tag, or I shouldn't say that, like an end screen, almost like a thank you for watching thing. Not like not like how Coaster Studios did it back in the day. It was like, thank you for actually, it was over here. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And I had all the footage up here. That'd be a very funny thing to do for like a video, but that's not what I did. I just have like a different screen where it says thank you for watching the video, and there's two boxes for both subscribe and the previous video. So yeah, this is gonna be at the end of the videos now. I'm still gonna determine like how I wanna. I'm still kind of figuring out how I want to handle the vlogs next year, but this is something that I think will be a good addition, especially for the narration videos, where I can end it off with a joke and then just kind of cut to this. So let me go over to it now. Yeah, so you guys, I'll play it. Yeah, this is just a different shot of turbulence that I was able to get. Oh, it's a little cut off, sorry. Oh, never mind. I was looking at the yeah, the outro. That's probably the word I should have used. Yeah, so this is going to be playing at the end now. It has the thank you for watching this video thing here, as well as the boxes that come in. Yeah, I think that's something you guys will be able to. I mean, it's a very minor thing, but I think it's good. I just want to get you guys' opinion on this. And again, we'll see if this works or not. All right. So, let me read the comments. Nice. I'm happy you like. I'm assuming it was the intro that you said you like. All right. Let me quickly check how many more things I want to say. All right. Let's see. So I'm just going down my list. So I already announced that. So the next video is going to be a RIP, or a rest in peace video, coming out on January 8th. Work has resumed on Brief History, and I'm going to be working on it a lot next week. And you guys saw the new intro as well as the new outro. Yeah, so that's I called it a tag in my notes, but it's really the outro. So, we have 3 more things to talk about. So, hold on a sec. This isn't a video, I'm just preparing for the next thing. One step ahead. But what I'm gonna be showing you guys is what's in the box. So, to kind of put perspective, this was actually a very last minute thing I decided to get. Sorry. Oh, let me make sure I'm in frame. Oh, shoot. Was the desktop audio off when I played that? Hold on a sec. I don't think you guys heard the audio for that. I'm not sure. Maybe I just changed it back when I wasn't looking. In case, though, I'll play it one more time. This time with the desktop audio. Yeah, so that's actually what it's like. Sorry if I didn't play it before. Alright, back on here. Oh, the audio was on. Okay. Oh well, I guess well, I just played it again for no reason. Whatever. Seeing this outro makes me want to change the credits I've been using for the past year and a half. And okay, now the audio is on. Do you use non-copyright songs? I think that's what that stands for. I just use my intro song. Let me double check on the name. I think it's by Silent Partner, which is the same group that makes the Airtime Thrills theme. Yes. So this is a song that's on the YouTube audio library. It's called Drop and Roll by Silent Partner. It's a really good song. So actually the song that was in that is a continuation of the song that I use in the intro. So they're both the same thing. So yeah, now that that's out of the way, I can finally close that. And now I can finally show you what's in the box. Da, 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 da. So yeah, I got this today. I wonder what it is. It's not like I opened it or anything. But so let me make sure I'm getting this out the right way before I get it out. Hold on. Yes. So, for your viewing pleasure next season, or this year, whatever. Da 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 da. Stop the glare. It is a GoPro 10. Woohoo! And with that, so that was in the cardboard box. The other smaller box I put in Instagram, I also put in here. It's just a hand and wrist strap. Oh jeez. Hand and wrist strap. Yeah, let's go. So, here's the thing. I've actually had a GoPro before. And here it is. It's actually right next to me. Oh jeez. Still has its charger here. Let me put that away. So this is my old GoPro. This is actually a Hero 4 Session. So it's very dusty. I haven't used it in a while. It's just been sitting here. But a while back in my channel's history, I filmed actually quite a few videos with it. My favorite were definitely the ones I filmed at Camelback Lodge, or during the summertime, where I filmed the zip line as well as the mountain coaster. But also, when I was doing those water park videos on my channel, I always filmed with that old GoPro. So I'm happy to be be a new GoPro owner. This is nice. I'll be able to do stuff with it that during possibly some of my visits and incorporate it better in the vlog. So yeah, it was basically a last minute thing for me to get. So that's why, again, it showed up literally today. So that's, otherwise I probably would have announced it on Instagram, but I figured with this coming up, I thought I'd announce it here. So that, I thought I almost dropped something. So that is the answer to what's in the box. Because inside my secret box is the most secrety secret in all of secretdom. And I'm the sole witness. Not even Squidward's house knows what's in it. Okay. So, we have 2 more things to announce. So, I'm really excited about this one. This is something you may, if you've been on our Instagram live streams, you may have heard me talk about this once in a while. But in February, let me get it all ready to go. In February, I'm happy to announce that I'm going to be attending East Coaster. Woohoo! Yeah, let's go. Oh, okay. I went off of it. So, East Coaster. If you guys don't know what this event is, I'll click on it for you guys. So, East Coaster is a regional event held by Ace Eastern Pennsylvania. And it's basically kind of like a press conference. So it's actually back from a 3-year hiatus. But I've actually been wanting to go to this event pretty much ever since I've gone to college in Delaware. And now that I live in a place that allows me to like go back a little bit earlier, it allows me to go to this event. So here, if you don't know, yeah, you get Ace Coaster catered lunch, and basically what the event is a bunch of press conferences from these regional parks. So like obviously Hershey Park's gonna do a presentation. Probably Dutch Wonderland, maybe Great Adventure, maybe Knoebels is gonna be there. I don't know, but it should be a lot of fun, and I'm really excited to go. I'll definitely be filming a video from this event, as well as what's right before it, the day before, the Hershey Park behind the scenes tour. So, this is kind of connected to East Coaster, but technically anyone can show up. I think as long as you're a part of Ace. I'll double check that. Oh yes, so right here. This event is only open to Ace members and their guests. So if you know someone in Ace and you're not an Ace, but want to go as a guest to this, beg them, please. So this is actually a behind-the-scenes tour of freaking Wildcats Revenge. You know I had to do this. This is freaking amazing. So this will be the day before East Coaster, February 3rd, at 3 o'clock. It's 2 hours, so it goes from 3 to 5. And yeah, we'll be touring the construction site of Wildcats Revenge. That's going to make for a really great freaking video, and I'm really excited to bring that to you guys. And who knows, maybe we'll do some other stuff around the area, maybe Chocolate World, maybe some other attractions. Who knows? But I'm really excited to bring you content from both the Hershey Park behind the scenes tour of Wildcats Revenge as well as East Coaster. So those are definitely things to look forward to in the month of February. All right. So we've had a lot of announcements, but now we're ready for the big one. The very big one. The one I've been so excited to talk about. Yeah, I've been waiting for today to actually talk about it. And to do it, I gotta pull up something. Don't worry, it's not a video. It's something a lot more education heavy. You'll understand once I do it. And to talk about this, I'm getting a drink of water beforehand. And let me make sure it switches. So what you should be seeing right now is a black screen. I'm just gonna double check on my video here to make sure everything's working. All right. So it seems to be working. So I'm going to switch it over to just black screen. Make sure it shows there. And just for the fun of it, I'm going to count down from 5. So 5, 4. Yeah, you're so excited. It's about time. I've been dying to say this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dun 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 dun. It's palm trees. Palm trees. What could palm trees possibly mean? Oh, I know. It's the East Coaster Fan 2023 Florida trip. Woohoo! Yeah! I'm so excited to be talking about this that I had to make a PowerPoint for it. So, this is the East Coaster Fan 2023 Florida trip. What exactly is this? Well, I'm going to go through it in a lot of detail for you guys, but let me start off by saying this. I haven't been back to Florida since 2016. In fact, some of the earliest videos I did on the channel were from Florida. Hold on a sec. Make it a bit wider for you guys. Hopefully it'll show up on there. So yeah, the earliest videos I did on the channel were from Florida, a Florida trip that I did in 2016 with my family, where we did Magic Kingdom, Epcot, and SeaWorld Orlando, and actually made park footage videos of all 3, although they're some of the oldest videos on my channel. They're not good at all. Also, talking about other stuff, there are some other things in Florida that I haven't done even earlier than 2016. So, Universal, I haven't done since 2011, and that was only Islands of Adventure. Then, looking at, Disney's Hollywood Studios, I haven't done since 2013. And Animal Kingdom, I haven't done since 2008. So, with that being said, where exactly am I going on this Florida trip? Well, as an enthusiast, it's kind of a no-brainer. You gotta hit Universal Orlando Resort because they got Velocicoaster and Hagrid's, as well as me not being able, since I haven't been to Universal Studios Florida. There's so much things to do there. There's Gringotts, Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket. What else is there? Born Stuntacular, yeah, tons of things. And then in addition, the other enthusiast thing to hit, SeaWorld Orlando. They got, since my last visit in 2016, they added Icebreaker as well as Infinity Falls. So those will be fun videos. Plus I'll get a better opinion of Mako, since I rode it only once and many people say it's the best hyper. I just need a bit of a refresh. Something I've never done before, that I'm excited to try. Oh yeah, don't forget Supercharged and Universal Studios. Cha-ching. That's what they said. That's what they said when I paid for a ticket. Anyway, something I'm excited to try for the very first time is the Fun Spot Park. So this is Fun Spot Orlando as well as Fun Spot Kissimmee. Both parks I haven't been to before, and they have a bunch of credits there. And finally, it wouldn't be a Florida trip without Walt Disney World. So, like I said before, Magic Kingdom and Epcot I went to in 2016, but Hollywood Studios 2013, and Animal Kingdom I only went during my first visit in 2008. And I basically only did the safari that visit. So there is so much to discover at Animal Kingdom. And I'll go into more detail as to how this is all scheduled a little bit later. But what's also exciting about this trip is for half of it, I'm actually going to be with some people that you already know on the channel. So, obviously, we have Michael, aka Blue Diamond Coasters, who's here in the chat. He's going to be doing part of the trip, which is very exciting. As well as another enthusiast that's been featured on the channel, Stormrunner Sam, aka his actual name's David, but he goes by Stormrunner Sam. So we're going to be seeing each other for about half the trip. In fact, we all kind of have our own separate itineraries, so that's why I'm going to go over mine a little bit later. But I'm happy to be seeing these guys, as well as maybe a few other enthusiasts that I'm in early talks with right now during the trip. So, before I get into the itinerary, that's me. Before I get into the itinerary, I thought I'd let you guys know when I'm going to Florida. Because in the past, I've always scheduled my trips around or in Florida to be in the summer. I've always gone in the summer during the hottest months. And it's been an interesting experience going in the summer. But I don't know, I thought I could do this trip a little bit sooner. Maybe spring break? Maybe earlier than that? We're going next week, baby. Yeah, so we're going to be in Florida, or at least I'm going to be in Florida from January 15th to January 20th. That is pretty much a week away. So yeah, when I told you guys this January is going to be stacked, I was not lying. This January is going to be filled with tons of amusement park visits. This is easily the busiest January of being an enthusiast in my entire life, and I am so excited to be doing it. So, with those dates set, I can finally show you the trip itinerary. And we have a bunch of stuff planned during this time frame that I'm excited to go into a little more detail about. Starting with the first day, the January 15th, I'm going to be flying in early, going straight to Universal Orlando. Now, the reason I'm going to Universal Orlando on this day in particular is it's the last day it's the last day of Woody Woodpecker's Kids Zone and the last day of Woody Woodpecker's Nut House Coaster. So I'll be here on this land's last day of operation, which is very funny. So honestly, I might just prioritize this land in general and document it for you guys. And I'm sure there's going to be other people there doing the exact same thing. So that's going to be very exciting. And then going to be ending off that day, I put their other stuff on International Drive. I'll say this, that originally that line was supposed to be Icon Park, but after seeing that Ferris wheel spike, I'm not too sure now. So yeah, gonna be flying in, I'll possibly do something at night with the two guys. But nothing's confirmed yet, so I'll let you know about that once we get closer. So then the next day, Martin Luther King Day, is going to be another day at Universal Orlando, and this is going to be with all three of us. So even though MLK, I know it's going to be a busy day at Universal Orlando. I'm going in already anticipating that. I know this is going to be a super fun day because I know there is going to be some enthusiasts there, like obviously Michael, David, and possibly Zooter Loopers, if you know that account. And then ending off the night, I know that's obviously Michael's last day there, but I'm going to try and hit Fun Spot Orlando at night and get those credits out of the way. So then moving on, January 17th is another day at Universal. Really trying to get in a lot of Universal since there's so much stuff I gotta do there, guys. And then ending it off with Fun Spot Kissimmee. So January 17th, I'm going to be with David that day. I don't know when he's leaving exactly, but I know there will be at least a little bit of park day with him. And then obviously Fun Spot Kissimmee, there's a lot of cool stuff there. So this is half the trip, where half of it is going to be with enthusiasts that you guys know, which is really cool. The other half right now is just me, although I'm more than willing to meet with enthusiasts at these parks because being with enthusiasts just makes your day even better. So before I show you the next date, January 18th, I'll just say right now that the day is going to start off with SeaWorld Orlando. I'm not going to reveal the line yet though because there's another thing that I want to talk about, that is after that. But first, SeaWorld Orlando obviously hitting all the coasters in. You saw that with the newly purchased GoPro, I'll be able to have a lot of fun at SeaWorld. Sorry, I was drinking something. Yeah, so I'll be able to have a lot of fun at SeaWorld, doing stuff. But then, obviously, SeaWorld, I wouldn't consider SeaWorld a full day park. I'd consider that a half day park. So what am I doing that other half? Well, there is something that was recently brought back that when I saw that it was around the time of the trip, I knew that I had to do it. And this is, I'll finally reveal it for you guys, the Disney After Hours event. So if you guys don't know what this is, Disney After Hours is a special ticketed event similar to like Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, thing like that, where it's basically a park-wide ERT session. So you don't even have to have a regular park ticket for it. You can just go there for this ticketed event. I'm not even sure if it's sold out or anything, but I got mine, so I'm going to be there. What's interesting, though, is technically this event goes from 9:30 to like 12:30 at night, I think. I think that that's the case. So I'll be getting a lot of cool stuff done at Disney's Hollywood Studios, especially things that I haven't done before, like Rise of the Resistance. Obviously, I went to Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland, but I only rode Smuggler's Run. I didn't do Rise. So I'll be experiencing that for the first time, as well as Toy Story Land, getting the Slinky credit. And then obviously riding the things that I already like and love, so Star Tours and Rock and Roller Coaster. Interesting fun fact, I've actually never done the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror at Disney's Hollywood Studios, yet I've done Mission Breakout, so that'll be an interesting thing to see. So even though it's from technically 9:30 to 12:30, you can actually be let in around 7 o'clock. So my plan with that, as of now, is pretty much head straight to Fantasmic and get a good spot, and I could film that show for you guys and put it here on YouTube. So that's going to be a very busy day, both with SeaWorld and Disney After Hours, and I'm really excited to bring that to you guys. We have January 19th, which is the Disney Day. So I decided to get a park hopper ticket and going to be starting off the day with Epcot, reason being Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. We'll definitely want to make sure I could get a reservation for that because they're still doing that stupid system. So going to be starting off the day at Epcot with Guardians, as well as a few other things. I haven't done Ratatouille yet. I actually haven't done Frozen either, so maybe I'll do that, as well as just the classics that I love at Epcot. Epcot's a great park. There's a lot of history there. I just love seeing all the cool stuff. And it's neat. It'll probably be a big construction site, but I don't care. I'll still have a lot of fun. Then at 2 o'clock, since that's like the weird park hopper rule now, is when I'll transfer over to Disney's Animal Kingdom. So that is when I'm going to go over, definitely head to Everest first, because I've been dying to get on that ride. And then hit up Pandora, maybe the Safari. So then, yeah, definitely make the most of it at Animal Kingdom because I've never been. Or, well, I have, but I barely remember it. So then at the very end, you see that line, maybe Magic Kingdom. And the reason I put that there is because of a little ride called Splash Mountain. So if you guys didn't know, Splash Mountain's going to be closing. I forget the exact date, but it's going to be closing a few days after this trip is over. So that would be my last opportunity to possibly get a ride on Splash Mountain. So I'm debating about, or like, we'll have to see how the day goes if I could get on Splash or not. But we'll have to see how it goes and everything. If if I ended off at Splash Mountain, that would be amazing. If I can't, I'd probably just head back to maybe Epcot to see Harmonious because more interested in that than Enchantment, which is the show at Magic Kingdom. But we'll see what happens. I like that Michael said, "Are you also gonna try to get the Figment popcorn bucket?" We'll see what the line is for that. But I could probably sell it on eBay for a pretty penny. So there's that. So finally, the last day. Is either gonna be Universal or SeaWorld. I'm not exactly sure yet. We'll have to see if I'm sick of Universal by that time, which, since Velocicoaster's there, I'm probably not going to be. But there's also SeaWorld, and we'll see, no pun intended, if there's anything else that I got to do there. And obviously fly back. So this is right now the planned itinerary, so I'll just quickly go through it again. So January 15th, flying in early and then going straight to Universal Orlando, mainly spending it at Woody Woodpecker's Kids Zone, trying to document that the best I can, and then ending it off possibly with stuff on International Drive. January 16th, which is Martin Luther King Day, is going to be our enthusiast day at Universal Orlando Resort, as well as ending the night with Fun Spot Orlando. January 17th is Universal Orlando again, but this time is Fun Spot Kissimmee. January 18th is SeaWorld Orlando, and then the night is going to be at Disney's Hollywood Studios for the Disney After Hours event. January 19th is a Disney Park Hopper Day, starting at Epcot, then going to Animal Kingdom, maybe including Magic Kingdom for Splash Mountain, but I'm not 100% sure yet. As well, and then ending it off January 20th with Universal Orlando or SeaWorld Orlando, just to do stuff, and then flying back late. So again, this is just the itinerary that I have set now. Again, things could update, and I'll make sure to let you guys know on Instagram to any changes that I make to this. So the last thing I want to do that involving this trip is, obviously I'm a coaster enthusiast. I got to look at the number of new credits that I'm gaining on this trip. So, looking park by park, we have the Universal Orlando Resort. The only coaster I have here, actually, from my visit in 2011, is Flight of the Hippogriff. So, at Islands, obviously, there's the big three: Hagrid's Incredible Hulk and Velocicoaster, and then Universal Studios Florida is everything: Gringotts Rocket, Mummy, and Nut House Coaster, which I'll make sure to get that on the first day that I'm there. So that's 7 credits total. Fun Spot Orlando, you have Freedom Flyer and White Lightning. I'll try to get on Sea Serpent, and if I do, that'll be a +3. Kissimmee has Galaxy Spin, Hurricane, which I'm really interested in seeing how that's gonna be. The Kiddie Coaster, which again I'll try and get on that the best I can. And of course, Mind Blower. That's gonna be an interesting one to do. I've heard some interesting mixed opinions about it. Some people love it, some people hate it. So I'll finally get my sense on it. At the Disney parks, there's 1 credit at each of the 3 parks here. There's Everest, Slinky Dog, and Cosmic Rewind. I have everything at Magic Kingdom already, so obviously that's not going to be... I'm not going to be too worried about credits there. If I go, it would mainly just be for Splash Mountain and maybe something else, but again, I'm not too sure. Finally, at SeaWorld Orlando, I actually need the Journey to Atlantis credit. I don't actually have it. And then it's going to be getting Icebreaker, which is nice. So these are the credits that I'm going to be getting on this trip. And that, my friends, is everything that I've had to announce. So, going through the list again of everything we announced. I know I spent a lot of time on that last one, but that last one is very freaking big. So, I knew I had to talk a lot about it. So, my dog is having fun with its squeaky toy out there. So, going through it again, we have the next video, which is releasing this Sunday, is in the Rest in Peace series. Work is resuming right now on Brief History, and I hope to have an update for you guys soon. I showed you guys earlier the new intro and outro, and those will be posted very soon. I showed you guys what's in the secret box, and that is the purchase of a GoPro, which is amazing. I'm super excited to finally have an updated one, and I'm excited to have it in use. Then I shared that I'm going to be attending in February the ACE event known as East Coaster, and I hope you guys will hope maybe you guys will be able to meet me there as well. That would be a lot of fun to all do that. And then finally, we went over the behemoth known as the 2023 Florida trip. So I'm really excited to share this all with you guys. And like I said before, this month is going to be stacked with stuff on this channel, Instagram. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm happy to finally share this all with you, especially that Florida trip. I've been planning this for months. So it's so crazy I'm finally able to talk about it freely. But that is pretty much everything. So thank you so much to everyone who either watched this live stream for a bit, is watching it right now, or is watching it after the fact. Thank you for taking time out of your day to watch it. It means the world to me. I hope you guys really liked the announcements and the things that I was able to show off to you guys, and look forward to especially the intro and outro being used in the newest video. And then finally, I'd like to just say my normal stick. If you like this video, please make sure to give it a like. If you really liked it, make sure to subscribe. For more content, be sure to follow me on Instagram at East Coaster Fan. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.